For those who have missed the morning session, just a small recap of before lecture, that is on operational amplifiers first lecture. So we discussed the following things, that is standard symbol of op amp and its output equation, its gain in dB, about different inputs, that is non-inverting input and inverting input. And also we have seen the electrical model for ideal case as well as practical case. And then we have seen the typical values for different things, like for idle op amp, for 741 family, and for modern op amp. The parameters like the open loop gain, the input impedance, and the output impedance, speed, bandwidth, power dissipation, cost, and how these things will be for different for idle op amp, for 741 family, and for modern op amp. All these things we have discussed. And then we discussed an important thing, that why op amp is required, that is to compute mathematical operations and to visualize the complex circuits. Now in this lecture we are going to see about this thing that we discussed earlier, how we can compute the mathematical operations using operational amplifier. And then I have already explained the transfer characteristics for an amplifier of gain 1. Then I took an example for gain 10, and then we observed that the slope was increasing gradually, and then we seen the transfer characteristics of an operational amplifier, and piecewise analysis of the transfer characteristics of operational amplifier, and many such things. Then I have explained how the output of an operational amplifier is getting stable, or it's being stabilized after this repetitive fluctuations, that is called as transition time. All those things we have seen. Then we concluded with a statement that if the gain of amplifier is increasing, then the differential input or the error between the two inputs of op amp are reducing. That is what we have discussed using two examples, that is by taking gain as 1 and by taking gain as 10. Then I explained about the concept of virtual ground. The two mandate thumb rule conditions are the gain should be very high and it should be connected using negative feedback. Then we concluded the early morning session with a final thing, that the possible combinations that we can study in operational amplifiers topics are under no feedback case, positive feedback case, and negative feedback case. We are going to discuss all these things in detail one by one. And also I left the session with a question, that to determine the type of feedback. Now I'm going to resume the session with the same question where I have stopped, and that is, the question 2 is, can you tell me what type of feedback it is? Your options were, was it a negative feedback, or a positive feedback, or no feedback? So I am asking again. My question to start this session is, which type of feedback was this circuit contains? Which type of feedback this circuit contains? Okay, that was my question. No feedback. Okay. Yeah. So many think that there is some feedback, either it can be positive or negative or like that, because there are some passive components which are connected from the output to input. So they think that there is some feedback. But to be frank, this circuit contains no feedback. So this is an example of no feedback case. Let me explain that again. Uh, okay, only one commented, Sri Lakshmi. Okay. Yeah, no feedback is correct. But let me explain why it's no feedback. Okay, let me redraw the circuit and give you the rules, two rules which you can follow. Let me redraw the circuit. 3K, P1, 5K, P2, and here it's 25K, and here I guess it's 15K. Okay. So far recap was done. Any new join? Okay. So far we are done with recap. Now, how to determine the type of feedback in a circuit? So to determine the type of feedback, still anymore? Okay. To determine the type of feedback, there are two rules that are to be followed, or you can say steps to be followed to determine the type of feedback. The first thing is, you open this loop here, you cut this part. not this entire thing. Okay, let me mark it. You cut this part, you open this. Okay, after opening that, first you open that, open output of op amp. Now, after opening this, what you will be left with means the circuit will look like this. The same circuit will look like this. Okay, 3K, 5K, sorry, 15K, and all these things. Okay, 25K. So this is how the circuit will look like. This is first step. Here again, V1, V2. So in the second step, what you have to do is, this is the result after first step. So in the second step, you open current source or short voltage source. So this part will be grounded, and this also will be grounded, because both these are voltage sources. Now you try to get the values at these two nodes, that is V1 and V2, at this node and this node. Now, if V1 is greater than V2, if V1 is greater than V2, since it is a non-inverting terminal node, you will get a positive feedback circuit. Okay, then you can conclude that this circuit is connected, or this circuit is having a positive feedback. Or else, if V2 is greater than V1, then you can conclude that this is connected in negative feedback, or this circuit containing negative feedback. And final case, if V1 is equal to V2, then you can say there is no feedback. Okay, so this is the way how you have to determine the type of feedback. So this concept is very, very important, because to apply the condition of virtual short, or to apply the condition of virtual ground, the mandate thing is it should have a high gain, as well as it should be connected in negative feedback. In the morning session, I explained these 2 points, which are very, very important, and why you have to consider only these 2 points to apply virtual short condition. Okay, so this topic can be titled as determination of type of feedback. Okay, type of feedback. Now, if you again recollect this sum or this numerical question, the voltage across this point would be V naught into 3K by 3K plus 15K, because these two are grounded, right? 3K plus 15K, which is equal to V naught by 6. Similarly, as this is simple voltage divider circuit or voltage divider network, here also V naught into 5K by 5K plus 25K. So, which is also equal to V naught by 6. Now, from these two, you can say this voltage and this voltage are same. So the answer for this question is no feedback. So don't get deceived or cheated by looking instantly at the question, but try to analyze that question for a while, so that you won't commit any mistake while solving numerical questions. Okay, now completing the type of a determination of type of feedback, let me explain one more important thing. Then we can go into direct negative feedback circuit problems. Okay, the thing is, why why non-inverting terminal is called as voltage summing node, non-inverting terminal as voltage summing node, and inverting terminal as current summing node. Okay, this is also an important point that is to be noted, that is to be learned. Okay, it is very simple, but one thing is, let me tell you with an example. Let me consider an operational amplifier with a negative feedback. Okay, let me consider two cases. In both the cases, I am connecting a negative feedback. Let it be R1 and R2. Here it is V0, so R2, R1. Okay, in both the cases. Now, in the first case, let me give the input at as it is non-inverting terminal. Let me give the input at this point. Okay, let me give the input 3 or 5 volts. Let me take 5 volts here. As it is inverting terminal, let me give the input here 5 volts. Okay, then this would be grounded and this would be grounded. Now, if you observe the circuit carefully, whatever the input here it is, the same input would appear here. As it is a negative feedback with a high gain, let me take the gain as 10 power 6. As it is a high gain amplifier and it is connected or it is having a negative feedback, so virtual short or virtual ground concept can be applied and the same 5 volts would appear across this node. So whatever the voltage you are applying at the input or whatever the voltage that you are applying, the same voltage was sensing at the node of operational amplifier. Hence, a non-inverting terminal can be called as voltage summing node as it is sensing the voltages as inputs. In the same way, for an inverting node, if you see here, if as it is also connected in the negative feedback fashion and it's having a high gain, by applying virtual short here, it is fixed to 0 volts. The same ground connection would be connected here. And if you change this input from 5 volts or 6 volts or 3 volts or 2 volts, whatever it might be, the voltage at this point will remain at 0 volts only, or it is connected to ground only. So the parameter or the thing that changing is the current that is entering into or that is flowing through this resistance R1. Depending on the input voltage that you're applying or the voltage that you're changing, the current that is flowing through this resistor is changing, but not the voltage at this point. This voltage is remaining at 0 volts, but this current is continuously changing depending on the input that you are applying. Hence, this inverting terminal or inverting node is called as current summing node as it is sensing in the form of input currents. So that is the prime difference or prime thing why we call a non-inverting terminal as voltage summing node and an inverting terminal as current summing node. If you are clear with this, then we are good to go to the next concept, that is non-inverting amplifier. Guys, are you clear so far? Yes. Clear? Yes. Let me move to the next thing, that is the from now it's like more number of numerical questions. If you can observe the trick or the shortcut, then you can solve these questions within fraction of seconds. So try to follow the way how I am doing, so that it would be easy for you to score good marks in less amount of time. Okay, now the first concept, before going to that, let me tell you one thing. Why we are going with feedback connections, why we are going with feedback connections. Okay, the open loop gain of an op amp is approximately equal to 10 power 6, which is very large. And by doing a simple experiment, it is observed in the lab that the ideal the characteristics, the transfer characteristics which I have explained earlier, were somewhat like this for an op amp, right? This gap is very small, although I have drawn a straight line, but ideal characteristics are like that. But practically the characteristics would be somewhat like this, which are very inclined towards V naught. That means the slope is very high. Now the thing that I am trying to make is, as in real life, the temperature where we place this operational amplifier or this device will vary continuously due to thermal effects or due to working of a device. There might be a heat generated due to other components or other devices which might affect this amplifier and all. So there was a fluctuations that are observed in the transfer characteristics of an op amp. They were not stable, but they were giving a huge amount of deviations. So these are called as deviations. These deviations are observed in the transfer characteristics of an operational amplifier due to temperature and other effects. Okay, due to temperature mostly. Now, what scientists thought is, even though this is such a beautiful device, but it is of no use since the transfer characteristics of this device are not stable. They are continuously fluctuating, which are not designed in the integrated circuit design or chip design, or it is not designed to place such type of unstable components in the design in your circuit design and all. So they thought, instead of making such a huge gain, what if we can make the gain of amplifier depending on the passive components? Okay, depending on the passive components. So from this, the idea of the next devices or next circuits that we are going to see were developed. So depending on the passive components, strictly the gain will rely on the passive components itself. So with this basic introduction, let us start with the first and fabulous circuit, that is non-inverting amplifier. Okay, non-inverting amplifier. So all you have to know, the prerequisites for solving these is KVL and KCL, or any of these two is purely enough. Okay, if you know those, then you can master these things. The circuit diagram would look somewhat like this. See, all these are under negative feedback only. We are starting with the negative feedback circuits directly. This is source voltage or supply voltage you can call, and two resistance R1 and R2 are connected in this fashion, or R1 and RF feedback. Let us take this. Okay, this is good. So this is a circuit for non-inverting amplifier. Then our task is to find what is the output of this amplifier. Okay, that is our prime task. Now moving ahead for solving this, let me solve this quickly. As this is negative feedback circuit and the gain of amplifier is quite large, you can apply the virtual short condition. So the same Vs will appear across this point. Now, as the current into the op amp is equal to 0 because the input impedance across this point is infinite, the current that is flowing through R1 will follow the path of RF and go to the output. So, simple KCL equation can be applied here. 0 minus Vs by R1, that is the current entering, equal to the current leaving, Vs minus V0 by RF. Now, if you look here, I can solve this V0 by RF equal to Vs times of 1 by R1 plus 1 by RF. So I took this left hand side part to right hand and this V0 term to left hand side part. Now V0 by Vs is what gain, right? Output by input. The input is Vs and the output is V0. V0 by Vs equal to gain, which is equal to RF times of 1 by R1 plus 1 by RF. Now you can simplify this as RF by R1 plus 1. So you multiply RF on both sides, sorry, to both the terms, RF will get cancelled and you will end up with the following result. So let me write the result here. V output by Vs equal to gain, which is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. Now, if any question asked on this non-inverting amplifier, straight away you can tell the gain of amplifier as 1 plus RF by R1, where RF is the feedback resistance and R1 is a resistance that is connected across this non-inverting terminal and the ground. So this is the gain of non-inverting operational amplifier. Now the same thing you can carry out using KVL also. It's up to you. If you want to solve, you can solve the same thing using KVL. The KVL is also very simple because the differential voltage would be 0 here. Then you can apply the KVL like this for this path. You can apply KVL equation also and you can solve that. If you want, I can do that for you. So let me assume the current as I, just for your intuition, but uh, for remaining circuits, I won't tell the KVL also. So I usually prefer KCL, which is very easy and convenient for me. Now, if you write the same using KVL, then it would be like this. The source voltage Vs equal to this differential voltage 0 plus I, the current entering into RF plus V0. So now this is one equation. So from this you can write V0 equal to, so you're entering like this, right? So minus Vs plus 0, the current would be from uh, this side. It is not possible to go from ground, right? So the current direction would be usually like this. Now if you take that, then it would be minus I into RF. You got my point, right? Now if you solve this equation, V0 equal to Vs plus I into RF, this is one equation. Now you can, what you can do, the current, what is the current? The current is Vs minus 0 by R1, right? Vs minus 0 by R1. Now if you substitute that here, RF into Vs minus 0 by R1. Now you can take Vs common and here also you will get the same result. V out equal to Vs into 1 plus RF by R1. So it can be any method. You can use a KVL or KCL, it doesn't matter, but you'll end up with the same result, that is 1 plus RF by R1 for non-inverting amplifier. Now, if you look here, clearly the result or the gain is depending on, let me go to the fresh page. So the gain is strictly depending on the passive components, that is 1 plus RF by R1. So here you might ask, why these passive components, what these passive components won't affect with temperature or what? You might ask me the question. You're saying that the gain is purely depending on the passive component. So we can alter the gain by changing these two passive components, that is RF or R1 in the circuit. We can program those things and all those things. But the straight away question that you can ask me is, why won't these resistance affect with temperature? Then my answer is absolutely yes. They will also affect with temperature, but in practice, the design would be somewhat like this. For example, if this is my R1, if this is my R1 like this, and if my feedback resistance is 2 times of R1, you say like that. Um, there would be some connections like this, okay, series connection like this. You are giving input across this and taking output across this node. Now, if the temperature affect this component by x times, then the same components, this component is used twice, that's it, but component is not changed. If this is R1 and this is R1, then both are in series, so it would be 2R1, which is equal to your RF. So all the components will affect by same amount due to the temperature. So in total, you won't get much fluctuations in the overall gain of closed loop amplifier. So finally, now the characteristics would remain firm if you make that the gain of amplifier depending strictly on the passive components. So that is the main advantage of making gain depending on the passive components itself. Okay. So that is first device, that is non-inverting amplifier. As we seen that, let's also see about how the inverting amplifier would look like. Okay. Now, you can remember this point very easily. As the input is applied, this is the input, right, is applied at non-inverting terminal, it is called as non-inverting amplifier. Now, for the same, if you apply the input at inverting terminal, it is called as inverting amplifier. The circuit would remain same, but the input where you apply in this circuit will change. Okay, let me draw the circuit quickly. V0, R1, RF, here you are applying your source voltage Vs, and this would be grounded. So you might think, why I have taken the current in the opposite direction, right? You can take the current in this direction also, then you will get here minus, okay? Because the current is entering like this, so your current would be 0 minus Vs by R1. It doesn't alter your answer, but taking the convention where the current flows is good to be preferred, okay? That's why I took like that. Now, again, the process is same. As the gain is very large and virtual short can be applied, here it would be 0 volts. Now, you can write a simple KCL equation. The current that is entering through this resistor also will enter through this. So, Vs minus 0 by R1 equal to 0 minus V0 by RF. So, it is very simple. V0 by Vs equal to minus RF by R1. That's it. You're done with derivation. As simple as that. Okay, so the gain of inverting amplifier is minus RF by R1. Again, it is depending strictly on the passive components. Now, this negative symbol indicates that there is a 180 degrees phase shift in the output. For example, if you are applying a sinusoidal input like this, then you will get a 180 degrees phase shifted sinusoidal amplified waveform. Okay, so that is the intention of this minus symbol. As you are applying input at inverting terminal, the output gets inverted or gets a 180 degree phase shift for the apart from the input. Okay, so now this is the inverting amplifier, but in real life this is not how it look like actually. Okay, the original circuit would be like this. The current would be applied because the inverting terminal is called as current summing node, right? Current summing node. So these are the things that you should focus while I'm explaining, because you didn't ask me this doubt. I am itself focusing and explaining this thing also. As my inverting terminal is current summing node, actually this part won't appear like this. but the circuit would be like this. Okay, mostly no one will focus on this point. This is how the circuit would appear, but you can program this current source. Okay, you can program this current source. All these things are not required for gate, but as it's time, just I'm explaining. This thing can be programmed in this fashion. The superposition, sorry, source transformation theorem. You can say this is how the practical current source would be, right? So you can program that using this voltage source connected in series resistance, because apart from current mirrors, there is no possibility of getting a current source while solving these things. Okay, only due to current mirrors we can generate a current source circuits. That's it. So with this, um, okay, if you think one more thing, how we can program this current source, the same thing can be written like this: V naught equal to minus RF feedback I am taking apart, Vs by R1. So I equal to Vs by R1, right? Current equal to voltage by resistance. So now you can get a feel that okay, it can be programmed. Okay, that's it. Don't take it too much. If you don't understand, also no problem. Just leave this. Okay. So I explained the basic thing, that is inverting amplifier as well as non-inverting amplifier. Now it's time for you to exercise with some numerical questions to get idea about how the numerical questions would be regarding these concepts. Okay. So far everything clear, guys? Are you following? Yes. Any doubts? Okay. Then let me give some questions for you to solve, numerical questions. The first question is very simple. Let me begin with a simple question so that it would boost your confidence. Take 5 volts here. So you should tell me what type of amplifier is this and what would be the gain of this amplifier. Okay. Both things you should tell. 3K, 1K. Now you tell me what is the gain of this amplifier and what type of amplifier was this. So that was your first question. And second question is, you can try the first question. I would write second question here. Now you tell me what type of amplifier and what is V output here. Okay. Here also you tell me what is V output. V output by V in is not required. And you tell me what type of amplifier was this. Guys, you solve these two questions. Your task is to tell me what type of amplifier was this, was these two, and what type of, what would be the output. Okay. Negative feedback, non-inverting, gain equal to 4. First question. Type of feedback is not required because I already told you that it's negative feedback. Okay, first thing, what was your answer? Your answer was 4 volts, right? Mm, one, same. Gain is 4. You told gain 4. Mm, no, no, gain is not required. You tell me what is V out. I want output. Okay, gain is 4 only. Gain is 4. If it's multiplied by Vs, that is 5 volts, the output would be 20 volts. Okay, you're done with first question. You can go with next question, second question. You can solve second question. So let me explain this for other viewers who would watch on YouTube. Okay, here it is a simple non-inverting amplifier. As the input is given at the non-inverting terminal, that is positive terminal, it is called as non-inverting amplifier. And for non-inverting amplifier, the output would be 1 plus RF by R1 times of Vin. Okay, as RF is 3K and R1 is 1K, it would be simply 1 plus 3K by 1K into Vin, that is 4 times of V in. So 4 5s 20. So your gain or your output is 20. And if you want gain, you simply take this thing. So gain would be 4. So very good. That's it. First question. Now you try to solve second question. Guys, answer for second question. A little bit tricky, but that doesn't mean it's difficult to solve. It's very easy. You can easily sort out your answer. I have many more interesting numerical questions that are coming. Please try to utilize this session. So now with this basic idea of inverting amplifier and non-inverting amplifier and how to solve these type of questions, it's not required to study separately about adder, subtractor and all these things. In the same way of solving numerical questions itself, we can come across and observe at the outputs that we obtain, and then we can give some interesting conclusions from the question, and we can say that this circuit is adder and this circuit is subtractor, all these things. You try to observe and analyze the results also, but for as we are in the beginning stage, these two circuits are just an non-inverting amplifiers, that's it. So nothing more to analyze. Just try to tell me the output. Okay, why are you taking that much time to solve this question? Second question is also very simple to solve, but why you guys are taking so much time? Shall I explain or will you answer? Explain. Sri Lakshmi, are you trying or shall I explain? Okay. See, this question is very simple. You should recollect the basic thing that I told you. As the current into the terminal is zero, because here the input impedance is very large, infinite impedance, right? So if the current that is entering into the non-inverting terminal or inverting terminal equal to zero, then the simple thing is there is no necessity of these resistance. Drop across this would be zero. So this means that here it is simply these 3 volts you can connect here, and this point you can connect across directly here, because this drop is also zero. So now you can redraw the circuit or you can modify the circuit in this fashion, because we usually study the circuits by placing this negative terminal top and positive terminal bottom. Until you become familiar that both are similar, you try to redraw the circuit so that you'll get command. Once if you get command, then you can solve without redrawing the circuit itself. Now if you look, the same circuit I have redrawn in this fashion. See, for negative terminal I connected this feedback part, and for positive terminal I have connected this 3 volt source. Now it's simple inverting amplifier into V in, that is 3 volts equal to V naught. So your output should be 12 volts. Any doubts? Understood? Clear? Can I move to next question? Yes. It was a beautiful question. The only thing that you should know is, as the current through these terminals or inverting terminal or non-inverting terminal is zero, because we are discussing idle op amps. Until and unless we discuss about the non-idealities of op amp, where we will have a small minute current that is entering, because ideally the resistance between those two terminals is some order of mega ohms. At that case there is a slight fluctuation in the gain of amplifier, but that doesn't matter, we will see them soon. Until and unless that point of explanation, the current that is entering through these terminals are zero, so you can neglect the drop to the resistances that are directly connected to these nodes. Okay, that this is one beautiful question that you can focus. And let me give some more questions which are very interesting, and you try to solve them. Okay, 1K. Let me write two questions for each page so that we can cover more number of numericals. If you try more number of numericals, then at starting you might feel like taking much amount of time, but gradually you will solve them quickly. You try to find what is output type of feedback, and all these things are not required. You just try to tell me what is the output. Okay. After writing this question, I will look into the chat box. Okay. Till then, if you are done with your question, you can comment. Okay, guys, these are the two questions. You try to solve these questions. Third question, fourth question. Third question, 8 volts. You gave the answer as 8 volts. Okay. Subraju, your answer. Sub, your answer. Sri Lakshmi gave 8 volts. I think it's correct. Let me check. Okay. You both done third question. So let me quickly check this. Okay. As this is a negative feedback circuit clearly, and the gain is also very high. The voltage at this point is equal to at this point. So as the input is given at non-inverting terminal, this is a non-inverting amplifier, and this is a simple voltage divider circuit. So the voltage at this point is 3 into 2k by 1k plus 2k, that is 3k. So if you cancel all these things, you will get 2 volts here. So the same 2 volts will appear at this point by the concept of virtual short. Now to get the output, what you have to do is you have to apply a simple KCL. Okay, Kirchhoff current law, or else as it is non-inverting amplifier, you can directly write the answer as 1 plus RF by R1 times of V. So 1 plus RF is 3k and this is 1k into the voltage at this node is 2 volts. So it is 1 plus 4 into 2. So 8 volts is the perfect answer. Very good. Now you try to solve the fourth question. So you got right. The voltage that you should apply for non-inverting amplifier is right away at the node at this node voltage, but for non-inverting amplifier the voltage that appear across this point. So you please look at that difference. Okay, don't get confused. Guys, clear? If you are clear with third problem, clear, 8 volts is correct. Now you solve fourth question. Very good. It means a lot that you are participating actively and doing them, solving them on your own. I will ask one more question, that is fifth question, and then we can move to the next topic, that is adder circuit, and then we will see inverting adder, non-inverting adder, all those things. Okay. First, we Vs into 1 plus R3 by no Sri Lakshmi. One thing is, the first thing that you should notice is the input is given at inverting terminal. How can you get a non-inverting output? Okay, your output was positive, but that absolutely wrong. Why? Because I will show the question again, Subraju. This is the fourth question. Sri Lakshmi, my point is, before answering, you just check once. The input is given at inverting terminal, then the output should be obviously inverting output, but you are getting a positive output, which means that you are getting a non-inverting output, which is absolutely wrong. That's why without checking your answer itself, I told you that your answer was wrong. Okay. Pavan, okay, Pavan, welcome to the session. You are too late. I think we discussed many concepts, many new and interesting concepts. You please again check this video once it is uploaded in the YouTube so that you can cope up with the next sessions. Okay. So for your brief recap, let me show you the topics that we have discussed from the beginning. From the beginning, we started with the basic concept of op amp from the beginning of an op amp. Then we seen what is the output, how the output would be, and the concept of the electrical model and typical parameters of different types of that operational amplifiers, that is idle op amp, 741 family, modern op amp. And then why operational amplifier, that is for compute mathematical calculations and to visualize complex circuits in a simple way. Then I have discussed, explained about the transfer characteristics of an amplifier with unity gain, and gain increases slightly. Then we made a point that as the gain of amplifier increases, then the error between those two terminals will converge or reduce. And then a piecewise analysis of transfer characteristics, then about how the output is getting stabilized in the operational amplifier, and explained about the transition time for the output waveforms that you observe usually in your lab. And then I have explained about the concept of virtual short and different circuits that are possible and can be classified using op amps, that is no feedback case, positive feedback and negative feedback. From then I started with the determination of type of feedback, which is very necessary to apply the concept of virtual short. And then explained about why non-inverting terminal is called as voltage summing node and inverting terminal is called as current summing node. Then why feedback is necessary, because open loop circuit has an immense number of fluctuations due to temperature and all. So we designed these circuits using feedback so that the gain completely or strictly depending on the passive component, so that the temperature effect is constant in all the passive components. So overall the temperature effect will be nullified if you design an amplifier using strictly using by passive components. Then I have explained about the non-inverting amplifier as well as inverting amplifier. And then I have given two numerical questions so far, and third numerical question also I have explained. Now it's time for you to solve the fourth numerical question. That is the brief recap for you, Pawan. Now you can solve straight away the fourth numerical question. Let me check the comments, two charts. Okay, Vs into 1 minus R3 by R1. That's not correct. That's not correct. I already told you the output should be negative. Subraju, the output should be negative. Why you guys are getting same answer again and again? Any mistake in my question? No, it's absolutely fine. Shall I explain? Shall I explain? So there is a strong reason for asking this question, this fourth question. This is a very important model. Okay, Subbu, shall I explain or you will try once again? Pawan, shall I explain? Yes. Pawan, what about you? Are you trying or shall I explain? Okay, please focus on this question. This is a very important model. The first thing is, let me erase, no, let me leave like that. The first and foremost important thing is, from the morning session itself, I am shouting to check for type of feedback, but you guys didn't check the type of feedback. That is first common mistake that everyone will do. Although it's quite simple to tell that it's a negative feedback circuit, but as a rule, you should follow to check the type of feedback. You should make a hobby to check the type of feedback. Now, for checking the type of feedback, you should cut this loop. Okay, I'm erasing again, and you should open current source or short voltage source. Okay, you should open current source or short voltage source. Now, whatever you do here, it is connected to zero. Here you will have some voltage V0 into R1 by R1 plus R3, because this will be shorted, right? So the voltage at negative terminal is greater than voltage at positive terminal, hence it is a negative feedback circuit. So that is the first conclusion you should make. Okay, this is connected to ground, right? So the voltage across this point would be zero, and as it is shorted, you will have V1 V0 into R1 by R1 plus R3 from voltage divider rule. Now you will have some voltage which is greater than zero, so strictly this is a negative feedback circuit. Now, as this is a negative feedback circuit and the gain is very high, you can go with the concept of virtual short. Now, if you go with the concept of virtual short, This 0 volts will appear across this point. So 0 volts. Now, now your task is to find the output. Okay. Now you can go for simple KCL itself. V naught minus 0 by R3 equal to 0 minus Vs by R1. That's it. So V naught by Vs equal to minus R3 by R1. V naught equal to minus R3 by R1 into Vs. Or you can redraw the circuit like this. You can redraw the same circuit like this. So that's why I told you don't confuse with the polarities that I usually prefer. I might confuse you, but you should not get confused. So I given this, but that doesn't affect your circuit. Okay. Here R3 is given, and here R1 is given with Vs connected like this. So now look the same circuit in a different fashion. Okay. I think you guys are clear with this question. Okay, calculation mistake. Even though you have done a calculation mistake, your answer should not be positive. Okay, guys, clear? Guys, clear? Can I proceed with next question? Yes, yes. Okay, now let me ask you this question, quick question. How many of you tested the type of feedback? Did you guys really tested for type of feedback? Or you are quite confident that it's negative feedback? Or uh, or you didn't care about R3 at all? Sorry, R2. So as R2 is there is a slight chance of confusion that it might be a positive or negative or no feedback. So you should strictly check the type of feedback, but that should not be long enough to waste your time. You should be as quick as possible in determining the type of feedback. The same circuit can be redrawn like this. So let me erase this as this is of no use right now because in the previous page it's all already present. Okay. Let me go with fifth question, which is of very important model again. Okay. Try to solve this question. This is 1K, this is 5K, and here I am applying my input of 2 volts. Okay, and the feedback resistance of value 1K. Find V naught. Your task is to find value of V naught. Okay, so this is 0.5K, this is 5K, this is 1K, this is 2 volts, and this is also 1 kilo. Your task is to find the value of V naught. Take a pen and paper, Pavan. You also try along with them. You try to solve the questions on your own so that if you can if try to commit maximum number of mistakes before exam itself. Don't try to commit mistakes in the exam. Answer, I want answer. This was the question. Question, yeah, I have shown Sri Lakshmi. This is the question. Find V naught. Find V naught. Yes, have you done? Question. Okay. You done? 10 by 11. No, 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 no. Getting negative. Yeah, absolutely you'll get negative because input is given at inverting terminal. That is 2 volts is given at negative terminal. Okay. So you'll get negative only. Yeah, perfect. -2 is the correct answer. So Braju, how you got 10 by 11, man? Pavan, any answer? Shall I explain? -2 is absolutely perfect answer. Okay. Okay. Let me explain this. Please listen carefully. As I already told you, the current into these terminals is zero, so no need of this resistance. So simply you can connect this to ground. So here the voltage would be 0 volts. Okay. As clearly you can see there is a negative feedback and high gain. So virtual short can be applied. So this will be 0 volts. So this node would be at 0 volt. As there will be no current flow in 0 volts and ground connection. So you can omit this resistance also. This is of no use. Now if you look again at this circuit can be simply modified like this. Okay. Now, if you can modify like this, then V output by V in for an inverting amplifier is minus RF by R1 into V in 2 volts. V out equal to. So this would be minus 2 volts. As simple as that. Clear? Clear, guys. Clear. Very simple. But all you have to do is you have to analyze the question first on your own. Yes. Let me go with an interesting and important topic. One more topic. For before going to that, let me give an example so that we can interpret more by solving the example. Okay, all these three are 1K, 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 and this is connected to ground, and the feedback is also 1K. Here, let me give three different inputs: 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt. Now, tell me what is the value of output. This is the sixth question. Okay. Now, tell me what is the value of output. -6. No, yeah, -6 is the correct answer. Any other answers? Pawan, any answer? No, 5 volts is not correct. Okay, let me explain this. You can solve this using two different approaches. So the first approach is by using KVL, and the second approach is by using superposition theorem. I personally love superposition theorem because it is very easy to directly tell the answer on our own. But if you are going with not KVL, it's KCL. But if you're using KCL, the thing is the currents that are entering are equal to the currents that are leaving because the current through this and into this inverting terminal is 0. So you can write direct equation 1 as it is virtual short 0 volts will appear here. So 1 minus 0 by 1k plus 2 minus 0 by 1k plus 3 minus 0 by 1k equal to 0 minus V0 by 1k. So you'll get direct V0 as minus 6 volts. So this is one way. But what if the resistance values are different, or the voltages are different, or feedback is different, all these things. So the calculation might not be this simple like this. Okay. Now by using superposition theorem, what superposition theorem states is, you consider each individual voltage source 1 volts at a time, plus 2 volts at a time, plus 3 volts at a time. Okay. Now by considering 1 volt, these two should be grounded. So that is what superposition theorem will tell, right? Now if these two are grounded, let me use different color. If these two are grounded, then simply between 0 volts and 0 volts there would be no current. So it's not required to consider these two components. Now, if you not consider these two, then when single voltage source, if you are considering 1 volt, then the output would be simply minus RF by R1, because it is an inverting amplifier into 1 volt. Plus similarly, if you consider this 2 volt source, then this and this can be neglected. Okay. Now it is again minus RF by R1 into 2 volts, plus again minus RF by R1 into 3 volts. So again you will get the same answer, that is minus 6 volts. So I personally prefer this method, but it's up to you that which method you want to solve. Okay, clear so far? Yes, clear is the answer. Yes. Super clear? Yes. Now, the important observation that I want you guys to make is, let me erase these things. Okay. Sorry. Okay. The important observation that I want you guys to make is, this is called as inverting adder circuit. Okay. Inverting adder circuit. As the input is given at inverting terminals, these 1 volts, 2 volts, and 3 volts are given at inverting terminal. This is called as inverting circuit, and this is adding the voltages that you are giving. If you take minus common, it's equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. So it is equal to minus 6. So it's adding the voltages that you are giving at the input. Hence, this circuit is called as inverting adder. To be precise, the general circuit will look somewhat like this. This is R. Let me mark it. This would be RF, and this would be R1, this would be R2, and this would be R3. If that is the standard nomenclature of the circuit, then your Vout by Vs, Vout by Vs or Vout equal to minus RF times of V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 plus V3 by R3. So this is called as inverting adder circuit. Okay, inverting adder. Clear? So that is uh, okay. So that is one such important thing to be noticed. Okay, we are on 20th slide now. Okay. Now, after explaining about this adder, you can also go with subtractor and adder subtractor, and all these things are extension to this circuit. Okay. Before going to that, let me give you one interesting numerical to solve. That is seventh question in today's session. So you try to solve this question on your own. So minus plus V naught and 1K. This is 1K and this is 1K. 3 volts is connected here. Okay, and 3K here. So you try to find V naught value. What is the value of V naught? Yes, this is the question. You try to find the value of V naught. This is one such typical question. You try to solve this. Okay. Yes, are you solving this question? No, 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 no. Minus 9 is not the correct answer. No, minus 9 is not the correct answer. Why you are making lots of mistakes, Subbu? Just try to analyze the question. Okay. Pawan, shall I explain or will you try? Yes. Obviously, I will explain, but just I'm telling you whether you are trying or not. Okay, no problem. See, one thing is very clear from here. This is a 3-volt source, or you can make it 2 volts. That's your wish. You can make 3 volt anything. Okay. Now the current through this node is zero. Means the drop across this resistance equal to zero. Means the same 3 volts will appear across this point. Now from the concept of virtual short, the same 3 volts will appear across this point. As here it is 3 volts and here it is 3 volts, this indicates that the current through this resistance is zero. As the current through this resistance is zero, there is no current that is entering through this resistance also. The current through this 3K is also zero, which means the drop in this 3K is also zero. That means this 3 volts is directly connected to the output. So your output is 3 volts. Clear? As simple as that. Guys, clear? Just it will take just 1 minute for you to analyze. That's it. Guys, clear or shall I explain again? Clear. Okay. Now, let me slightly modify this question and tell you how things will change with slight modification. Okay. The same question, see, I'm slightly modifying. Let me arrange these things in same question. Okay. Now, the modification that I'm going to make is I'm going to connect, here it is 1K, right? Okay. I'm going to connect one more resistor of 1K here. Now you tell me how the output will change. So instead of 3 volts now, what you'll get? So you take this as 2 volts. The calculation will become easy. Okay, just for calculation easy because it is a voltage divider circuit, right? Just take 2 volts as your answer. Just I added one more resistance that is 1K. So you tell me how now the circuit will change. Yes, answer. Minus 5. No, minus 5 is not the correct answer. Minus 5 is wrong. Minus 3. Minus 3 is also wrong. Okay, let me explain this. Just focus again. So here you can write this voltage as 1 volt because this is a simple voltage divider circuit, right? Let me use red color. This is 1 volt because 2 volts into 1K by 1K plus 1K, that is 2K. So you'll get 1 volt here. So the same 1 volt would appear across this point. Now there is a current flow that is 2 volts here, 1 volt here. So 2 minus 1 by 1K equal to 1 minus V naught by 1K. So this is also 1K, right? Sorry, this is 3K. Okay, by 3K. Now what you will get? 1 by 1K equal to 1 minus V naught by 3K. So if you cancel K kilo, then 3 equal to 1 minus V naught. So your V naught would be minus 2 volts. As simple as that. As this is negative feedback, the input at inverting terminal is dominating, and hence you are getting a negative output. Okay. Now the answer is minus 2. Are you clear with that question? Are we good to move to next question? We will see 2 more questions and we will resume the session after some time. Okay. Okay. Next question. 8th question, I guess. So the circuit might look bulky, but if you apply your common sense, then you can answer without even putting pen on your paper. Okay. There are 3 resistance R. All are connected to ground. Okay. And here there is one more resistance of value R. And here I am applying my input, again R here. Here I am applying my input V1, and here again it's like R, R, R. So this is the circuit. You try to get V naught. What is V naught? Circuit might look bulky, but this is not that difficult to solve. Are you clear with the question? Yes, question is clear, right? So try to solve answer. I will give you just 1 minute. Try to solve. If not, I will explain. Now, with this idea from this circuit, you can get a new interesting circuit, that is adder subtractor circuit, yeah, which is quite similar to this. Your answer is, are you solving or shall I explain? V1, no, yeah, V1, yes, absolutely fine, V1. Okay, Pawan, shall I explain? Yes, okay. This is very simple. You can solve this and write R by 3 because these three are in parallel. And similarly, here also you can solve this and write directly R by 3. Now, instead of maintaining this bulky circuit, you can simply write like this. You can modify and redraw the circuit like R by 3 and R by 3. Now, look how simple the circuit is. As the input is applying at non-inverting terminal, it is non-inverting amplifier. So, the output of non-inverting amplifier is 1 plus RF by R1 times of Vin. But Vin is the input voltage across this point. So, the output equal to 1 plus RF is given by R and R1 is given by R by 3, because this is R and this is R by 3, right? Now, to get Vin, again, this is a voltage divider network. That is V1 into R by 3 by R plus R by 3. That's it. Now, if you simplify this, you'll get R and R will get cancelled. So, this is 4. And this V1 into R by 3 by 3R plus R, 4R by 3. R by 3, R by 3 will get cancelled. And this 4 and this 4 will get cancelled. You will be left out with V1. So your output would be the same voltage that you are applying at this point. Now I will give you homework to look for adder subtractor circuit or try to get adder subtractor circuit, which is quite similar to the previous question that I have explained. And you try to draw that circuit on your own and check with the circuit that I will explain in the next session.